Hi everybody, it's Alison from DigiTeach, and today I am going to talk to you about, well, not really talk, but let's discuss whether or not niche is important when you are deciding to teach English online freelance. Coming right up. Here we are, the big old discussion about niche and niche English. Now, before we go any further, I have to clear up one of my biggest bugbears that I hear online, and I have to say, coming sadly mostly from Americans that try to use these words, and they call it niche. It's not niche, it's niche, okay? It's niche. Niche. It's spelt like niche. And if you really have a difficulty in believing that, let's have a look at the word quiche. We don't say kitsch, it's quiche. And niche has the same phonic ending. If you want to go even further, a niche is a tiny little enclosed space where normally little animals or birds would go. It's like a little hidey hole, yeah? And this is where the term comes from that marketers kind of discovered and started to use to describe a certain area or aspect of a marketplace. Now, whatever business you are in, you will hear internet marketers particularly banging on about find your niche, you gotta discover your niche. I don't know why I did an American accent there, or tried to. It's very, very American. It's a very American concept, okay? We do use it now in England, but it's just something I hear so much with Americans. And yes, you know, if you want to sell sportswear and you want to be successful, it might help if you just sold like, I don't know, running shoes or yoga pants, you know, unless you're someone who's massive like Adidas or Nike, where you have to design and stock a whole load of different things. It does make sense to niche down, so slim down your market and focus on that. However, this concept I see borrowed a lot from typical online teachers, online English teachers who have gone freelance and have decided to kind of tell the world how they did it. And they always say, oh yeah, you need to choose your niche. Now, I have been an online ESL teacher for over a decade. I have taught in almost every capacity possible. I have taught in England, I've taught abroad, I've taught offline, I've taught online, I've taught one-to-one, small groups, seminars, schools, online and offline. I've taught kindergartens, primary school children, adults, business English, IELTS, the lot. So over the course of that time, I have taught a lot of English. And I did teach probably more than that, but as a qualified teacher, it's probably, it's probably more than 10 years, probably about 15 years. So pretty experienced. I need to check out my lighting because my hair always looks so bad at the top. But yeah, I did wash my hair. It's the lighting, guys. It is the lighting. Anyway, getting back. Why do I think this is nonsense? And it's something I really want to discuss, because so many people say, yes, you have to choose a niche in English. I think if you're going to do that and you want to teach English online, you're going to find yourself without a lot of income. Now, hear me out with this, okay? First of all, now, one of my businesses is an online English academy. I have over 8,400 now students that get taught online via my academy. Now, the majority, these are adults, okay, for this particular academy. I do have a couple of businesses, but this one is for adults, which is why I created the Teacherpreneur Evolution program, because I actually got so fed up with nonsensical programs from marketers I've never taught before, telling people how they need to teach online and set up a business when they've never done it. And they might be good at digital marketing, but it does require a little bit more, well, quite a lot more insight than that if you want to be successful with an online tutoring business. And I will leave a link down here below if you're interested in that, okay? But getting back to the niche. Now, when I started my online English academy, I was teaching, and still do, people from all over the world, literally from so many different countries, and it would be impossible to have regular and consistent clients if you only taught one type of English. And if you want to build a particular type of business, I actually don't advise it. Now, you might think that's crazy, but listen to me first and then listen to the solution that I found that works for me. And then you decide kind of where you want to put your apples. Do you want to put it in that basket or do you want to put it in that one? Because there is sense to my logic. Okay, so I quite often see often in social media groups, tutors saying, oh, I'm not getting enough bookings online from these platforms, or, you know, it's quite penalising, because there are some brilliant ESL platforms out there and there are some god-awful ones, you know, when you just feel like actually you're in some kind of rudimental army somewhere and you're being punished for even blinking. You know, it's a bit absurd in this day and age, but they do exist, okay? So sometimes teachers go, okay, I have had enough, I'm gonna, you know, teach myself. And then they go out into the world and normally get advice from a marketer, a digital marketer. And that's fine, because just because you've been a teacher or you are an online teacher, you might not necessarily know how to do all of these things, which again is why I created the Evolution program. So it's good that people are thinking about, what do I need to do? But what internet marketers do is that they tell them what works in almost every other industry, and English is a little bit different. If you think about it, if you've got people coming to your website wanting to learn English and all they see is expert in IELTS or specialist in kids English, for example, okay? You are going to have, a reduced amount of clients, because not everybody is going to, you know, not all your clients are going to be children, and the children's English is hugely competitive as well, actually, as are some of the others, but children's English is really competitive. So what you could do is do something that I do, and I actually teach other teachers to do, and I find this to be the best for me, and it's been the best for them, because it's assured them a consistent income. And at the end of the day, whatever your ideas might be, cash is king. And if your business is not taking or making regular income, then you don't have a business, you just have a nicely thought of hobby, or potentially an expensive hobby if you're not making money. So what I do is this. Students come to my website, they enter into a funnel with a free lead object. So I don't do free lessons. They get a free book or something like that, or some free video lessons, okay? But I won't actually teach anybody for free. So the lessons are there, they're pre-recorded, so it's slightly different. And then after that, if they want to take lessons, then they get an online assessment that they have to complete. And then that gives me an idea of what level they're at. And with that assessment, obviously, we get to determine why they're learning English. Is it because they're a child? Is it the parents want the children to learn? Are they wanting to do IELTS? If they're doing IELTS, is that for academic purposes or for general purpose? Because they're two different pathways, it's very specific. Is it for another type of examination? Is it for business English? Is it for social purpose? There are lots of different questions you need to ask. And then I have created over the years my own curriculum, which is based for adults on IELTS. And I literally put my students in at the level that they are at. So they pay every single month to access that course, which is all pre-recorded with assessments. And then on top of that, they join the group lessons, or they can book one-to-one lessons. Now, obviously, I can't teach 8,000 students, so they have either joining my group seminars, and I also have teachers at work with me as well. And if they want to, if they're teachers that want to do one-to-one or teach one-to-one or small groups, then obviously, they take care of that. So that's how it's kind of working for me, and it works really, really well. But the membership that they pay every month for the course materials, that is what generates the regular income. And not only does it generate regular income, but it also shows your students that you are thorough, that you are reliable, and it gives them a better sense of value because they are investing in you. And by receiving new material and new resources every single month, they feel that you are investing in them, which you are. And that in itself kind of fuses a much better and positive relationship than this I only teach this or I only teach that. I mean, by all means, go ahead and do it. But if you say I only teach IELTS for people interested in getting a level 8, then you're going to be spending a lot on ad spend, and it's going to be limited. The other thing I will say as well, as somebody who works full-time teaching English online, I don't teach back-to-back online, but everything to do with teaching online, whether that's recording videos for you guys or recording trainings or masterclasses or preparing resources for the teachers that are on my teacher trainer program, or whether it's for my students or the seminars or whatever it is that I am organising, I am involved in teaching English online at the max full time. And I find that this really, really, really does work. But if you want to take the risk and just go and do one thing, then go and do it. But the other point I want to make as well is that actually it's really nice to have a change. I did work, it's quite a few years ago now, but I worked for a terrible ESL platform, and I could actually teach the same boring lesson 8 times over in a day. And the resources were awful and all the rest of it. And quite frankly, by the end of the day, I wanted to bang my head against a brick wall. So you need to think also about self-preservation and your mental health. No, I didn't actually really want to bang my head against the wall. I'm just saying, that if you just say, I'm only going to teach IELTS, and you just do that every day, because at the beginning you are going to be doing that every day, unless you've got the financial revenue to put into that to make it grow quite fast independently. If you haven't got that, you are going to be teaching every single day. Because sometimes it's quite nice to have a mix. I have one particular company that I still dip in and out of now and again, and I was actually a judge for this company for Pearson's English, and I do get called upon them to do a few things a little bit different like that. And I just really like the company. I like the platform. I like everything think they do, and I like the way they treat teachers too. So I'm pretty for that. And although I've got my own business, now and again I will go and do a few lessons for them, or if they ask me to do things like I said, I will go and do them, because it's all kids and it's nice to have a bit of a change. So think about that, think about what you actually really like doing, and don't think about where the money is. So that's one thing I will say, because lots of people want to start teaching IELTS because they think that that's going to be as an English lesson that you can demand more money for. But I can tell you this much: if you've got 5,000 people, for example, signing up every single month and paying you £40 or £50 every single month to have access to your online course for learning English, and you top that up with group lessons or masterclasses or something like that, you're going to be earning far more that way than you are £25 or £35 an hour for an IELTS lesson, which also takes quite a lot of time to plan and write. With an online course or your own online curriculum, once you have written that lesson and you've put it inside your curriculum and your online membership course, if you like, or if you will, for your students, then you've written it. It's there, it's set in stone. All you've got to do is maybe add more to it, or change it, or not necessarily update, because English doesn't particularly update that much unless you're teaching, phone English, for example. Then it's worth investing your time in at the beginning. So there you go. I hope that's really, really helpful for you. Some food for thought, because I know a lot of ESL teachers are really battling right now. And the only other thing I'll leave with you is I wouldn't say that the ESL industry has imploded. I wouldn't go that far, but it's certainly taken a bit of a whack. And obviously, given the current situation, that's impacted it because so many people are working online. The other thing is stock markets, all the things with, the amount of money companies and currencies have lost. That's also part of it. So if you want to work online in the ESL industry, the wise thing to do is to always have private clients. But if you don't set up a system, like a membership system with your own online business, which is pretty simple to do, and perhaps even more so if you take the Evolution program, but if you don't do that, the wise thing would be not to put all your eggs in one basket. Have some private clients, have one ESL platform, and don't stick to ESL platforms in the same country. For example, those teachers of late that have only worked for ESL companies in Asia, in China, have found themselves with no work, with no income, with no bookings. Now, if you work for yourself, you've got your own clients, and you've got maybe one company in Asia, one in London, or one in China, one in London, one in Russia, or one in France, or one in Spain, for example, you are going to stand more of a chance of having regular bookings. But really, the real cream is investing in yourself and making sure that you constantly keep bringing in new students with an automated system. And that is what I do, and that is what I show other teachers to do as well. Anyway, that's it, guys. Food for thought. I hope it's helpful. Peace to everybody, and I hope everybody is doing well, because I know it's really hard out there right now for some people. Take care. Goodbye.